This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
Oh, say, was you ever in Rio Grande? Away, you Rio! It's there that the river brings down golden sand, and we're down for the Rio Grande. And away, boys, away, away, you Rio! It's fairly well, my honey young girl, we're bound for the Rio Grande.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is quite possibly Ubisoft's most ambitious entry in the series. Though it's still an Assassin's Creed game with all the free running kept largely intact, most gamers are excited for the entirely new pirate backdrop and open world sea mechanics, and rightly so. As much as pirates are a beloved pop culture icon, their representation in the video game world is a little on the lean side. We recently had a chance to run through the Titanic single-player campaign on the PlayStation 3, which took us about 40 hours to complete. Depending on how you play and how liberally you use the fast travel system, it can take you about 10 hours less or more. If you're a collectible item junkie, Assassin's Creed 4 promises 80-plus hours of content. Inside the Animus, players don the hooded assassin's robes once again, this time as Edward Kenway, a Welsh privateer and pirate, father of Haytham Kenway, and grandfather of Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. Edward is not bound to either the Assassins or the Templars, the two warring factions within the Assassin's Creed universe. Instead, Edward is driven more by his own sense of morality, and true to his pirating nature, his wallet.
You mistake my motive, old man. I'm only after a bit of coin.
While most of the other Assassin's Creed stories revolve around vengeance or a misguided sense of duty, Assassin's Creed 4's story is about Edward's sense of belonging. Dissatisfied with being poor, he seeks a better life for himself and his loved ones on the sea and in a freely governed island of Nassau. In his quest for riches, he gets caught up in the conflict between Assassin and Templar for the location of the hidden observatory. Kenway's true home is the Jackdaw, a Spanish brig he steals during an escape from one of his captivities. While at sea, players need to compete against enemy ships, fortresses, and Mother Nature herself. The weather and wave system within Assassin's Creed 4 is nothing short of impressive. Some of the best times we had in the game were during large ship-to-ship encounters, during horrendous rain and windstorms, with rogue waves tearing through the battle. Without a doubt, the at-sea segments of the game are the highlight of Black Flag. The visuals hold strong, the warfare is addictive, and it is so uplifting when the crew cheers for Kenway's return to the helm or as they sing during longer sea voyages. By wearing down an enemy's defenses, players can board other ships by use of grappling hooks and swinging over on ropes. By fighting man-to-man and conquering ships, players claim 100% of their cargo. Small ships require killing only a handful of the enemy crew, while giant man-o'-wars can require the destruction of powder reserves, killing their scouts and removing their flag, showing off a great use of the Assassin's Creed free-running specialty as you jump from one ship's mast to the other as you tower high above the fighting. It gets exhilarating. Once a ship is conquered, gamers can use the ship to lower their at-sea wanted level, a meter which defines how large a pirate hunting force continually stalks you, use the materials from that ship to repair the Jackdaw, or the ship can be sent to the Kenway fleet, which is a minigame used to obtain extra cash and some hidden collectibles. If gamers choose to sink enemy ships, 50% of the loot can be salvaged. Using loot and cash, the Jackdaw can be upgraded with bigger and better guns, an improved hull, mortars, battering ram, and of course, the Jackdaw's appearance can be customized as well with unique sails, mastheads, and steering wheels. A diving bell is added later in the game, giving access to sunken treasure locations. The underwater sections of Assassin's Creed 4 are beautiful, and the waters are often infested with man-eating sharks. However, the controls while underwater can get frustrating, and subsequently, we didn't spend as much time hunting for sunken booty as we were hoping to. Also at sea are the somewhat controversial whale hunting sections of the game, which are a ton of fun. In specific locations, players can spear bull sharks, humpback whales, hammerhead sharks, great white sharks, killer whales, and white whales. We won't show it here for the sake of spoiling it for new players, but for those hunting great white sharks for the very first time, be sure to keep a clean pair of underwear nearby. Hunting, both in the water and on land, can be used for crafting new items and pouches, just like in Far Cry 3. On land, there are dozens of small settlements to explore, but there are three main cities, Havana, Kingston, and Nassau, all with their own unique Caribbean flair. It's here that most of the Assassin's Creed veterans are going to feel most at home. Free running on buildings, taking part in assassinations, beat-em-ups, and snooping missions are all par for the course. Happily, combat is harder in Assassin's Creed 4 than it is in other Assassin's Creed games. A few rounds from soldiers will kill Kenway. Health does not regenerate during battle, and as a point of what will no doubt be a topic of joy or frustration for Assassin's Creed veterans, Kenway does not counter as quickly as his grandson, leaving players vulnerable to more attacks. At first, we were frustrated with what felt like a somewhat clunkier assassin, but it required us to run away from the battle on more than one occasion, which made us happier in the end. The weapons have been sadly thinned out, and players only have the choice of using twin swords, their own fists, or the hidden blades during hand-to-hand combat. We sorely miss the brutality of the single daggers. Black Flag also leans more heavily on stealth than in past entries in the series. There are more missions that require you to remain invisible, and assassination contracts pay more if you complete them silently. Thumbs up to Ubisoft for pushing that back in the right direction. The on-foot segments of the game are also where most of the game's problems lie, and they're all of a technical nature. First, and worst, is the frame rate, which drops terribly low in larger cities. It is disturbing how much Black Flag will chug during what should be fluid, high-octane moments. There's also a fair amount of character pop-in when running quickly through the busy streets. These two issues combined get very distracting very quickly, and sadly, they both rear their ugly heads early in the game, leaving a sour taste throughout the entire journey. We also encountered our share of glitches. Certainly a game of this size and ambition will have a few issues, but the glitches we ran into truly saddened us. Hopefully there are some patches in the works to remedy these issues. We lost an assassination contract. He didn't kill us, he simply disappeared. And no matter where we looked for him in any of the cities or at sea with a fully exposed world map, he was nowhere to be found. For 30 hours or so of the game or more, we were left with the message on screen, Assassin Contract, kill your target. We wanted to kill that guy, just so we could kill that message, but he remained ever elusive, so the message remained ever on our screens, and in our memories. Also, we became trapped on a number of occasions. We winced as the game had a difficult time properly rendering a boat full of sailors fighting one another, and one of the most annoying glitches we ran into, Kenway simply refused to use his final key to open the door to his special armor, despite having finished all the special assassin side missions. Outside the Animus, players control an unnamed character from the first-person point of view as they go to their job working for Abstergo Entertainment, a subsidiary to Abstergo Industries. There, players hack other employees' computers and sift through Abstergo's dirty laundry, and they further flesh out the Assassin's Creed frame story. The mandatory time spent outside of the Animus is very short, but fans of the series who enjoy seeing how deep the rabbit hole goes won't be disappointed with what they find. The award-winning multiplayer is back again, but with only a few new additions. Though the gameplay is relatively untouched, the playing field is completely changed due to the contestants. In these digital games of hide-and-seek, players will face off against both newcomers who don't understand the ins and outs of the systems, and longtime veterans, going back to Brotherhood, who have perfected the fine art of smoke bombing, stunning, and wall kills. We absolutely love Assassin's Creed multiplayer, but if Black Flag is anything like its predecessors, it will become harder and harder to find decent matches about 6 to 8 months after its release. Considering Black Flag's fanbase will be spread out on even more consoles this time around, that time frame may be even shorter, but here's hoping that fourth time is the charm. In the end, we had a really great time with Black Flag, but at the same time we were completely irked by the glitches and technical issues we ran into on the PlayStation 3. We'll review the game again on the PlayStation 4 or PC in the upcoming weeks to see if these issues are prevalent there as well. If you're a fan of Pirates or Assassin's Creed games thus far, then we can say it's safe to pick up Black Flag. If you're new to the series and you only have a 7th generation console, though those waters are beautiful, there are some technically glitchy sharks beneath its surface. Gameplay-wise, it's one of the best Assassin's Creed games to date, but it definitely shows the age of the PlayStation 3. Fighting the waves, hunting for hidden treasure, swashbuckling on the decks of enemy ships, who doesn't want to be a pirate?